Hi, my name's Andrea, and this is my unpopular opinion about La La Land. Yep, I said it. I did not care for it. It was okay, but it did not evoke an emotional response in me at the end. I did not feel like, oh no, they needed to be together. I didn't feel that way, and I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why I think I didn't. And one of them I think is because, for example, I've never actually been in a relationship. I've never been in one, and so I think I need to feel more attachment to both characters being together. Well, there were a lot of scenes of them flying in the air and doing all these weird dances and everything, and it's great to watch. It was entertaining to watch, but I think because I don't know what it's like to be in La La Land, I don't know what that feels like. At least I feel like I would know, wouldn't I, if I had been? At least that's what somebody tells me. So I feel like it doesn't hit home for me. So really, in order for me to feel an emotional attachment to the characters, I need to see both of them interacting and both of the characters being emotionally open, having a good time together, not just having the serious conversations that make me feel attached to them, you know? But I did not feel that Ryan Gosling's character was very emotionally open. Emma Stone did amazing, I thought. But Ryan Gosling, not so much. And in my opinion. And I felt that my friend was like, yeah, but you know, they cast for a reason. Yeah, but you don't know if it's a good reason. That's my opinion on it. You don't know. They could have just cast him because he's famous and they want someone famous in it. Or maybe they just cast him because he could sing and, you know, he could play the piano, and so it didn't matter whether or not he could act. And they also wanted someone famous. I don't know. But I don't know if that's actually him singing and playing the piano. I don't know. I've never done any research on it. I would actually have to do research on that because I don't know the answer to that one. Anyway, but my point is, just because they cast someone doesn't necessarily mean it's a good reason that they cast that person. They could have cast him because he was famous and he knew someone. And, you know, a lot of times I think famous people get cast in certain things just because they're famous and they think it will boost who comes to watch it. And I am a little sad sometimes about that. Sometimes I wish they'd give a new star a new chance sometimes. But Emma Stone was just fabulous, in my opinion, and I wanted to see that in Ryan Gosling's character. In my opinion, the acting is very important in making a connection with the film, and because of his acting, it didn't do it for me. And again, I feel like the reasoning shouldn't matter because we don't know if it was good reasoning or not, and even if it was, that doesn't mean I have to agree with it. That doesn't mean I have to like it, that doesn't mean it has to do it for me, and it didn't, and I'm telling you why right this instant. So those are 2 reasons I think maybe I didn't get upset at the ending like a lot of people really do. But I think here is another big reason why I did not feel upset at the ending like a lot of people did. I think the ending is actually unrealistic. Her emotions towards it. And a lot of people are going to be like, what? They tried to make it more realistic because they're trying to show that life gets in the way and you get separated. Well, yeah, that part's realistic. But in my opinion, if I end up falling for somebody else and I'm with that person, then I'm not going to want to go back to this other person. I'm going to be just as happy with the person that I'm with now as I was with him back then, if not more. So if I run into him, yeah, I might tear up and think, oh my gosh, that's the person who helped kickstart my career. But I'm not going to want to be with him and wish everything was different because I'm happy with who I am with now. Now, maybe if she settled, I could see how she could feel that way, but they showed a scene with her being happy and playing with the baby and everything, and you could argue, oh, well, that's because it's a baby or whatever, it's not with the husband, but the point is she seemed happy. So she was probably happy with who she was with, too. So, to me, it didn't make as much sense for her to be unhappy, and want to be with the other man instead. I feel like if the director wanted to evoke that emotion of her, what he could have done, which would have made it more effective in my opinion, is to make her seem sad in those shots when we were watching her, or seem empty, like something is missing. Maybe that would make it seem like, you know, she's not content with where she's at, and she still wants to be with somebody else. Maybe you could argue that she is happy, but she'd prefer to be with him, and that's why she feels that way. But I don't settle. So maybe if other people settle, then that could be a problem. But in my opinion, if I find the next guy and I'm not settling and I'm just as into him, then that's not going to happen. I'm going to be happy with him and I'm not going to want to go back. So I'm not sure how I feel with the ending, but I think that's why I actually did not feel tore up, because I didn't get it. I'm like, why is she upset? She has a man that she loves, that she's been with her for a while. Why is she, she should be happy, crying in a happy way that she ran into the guy that helped her kickstart her career, and she should want to go say hi to him. That's how I felt about the acting, and I think maybe those reasons, or maybe all three of those maybe, are why it did not evoke an emotional response in me. That's the only thing I can think. It was entertaining though, kept me interested, and the videography was great, and the music was great. But again, I think that's why. I think those three reasons are why it didn't do it for me. I know my friend, I talked about how I prefer Titanic, which I haven't seen Titanic in years, so don't quote me on that, but she was like, oh, I hate Titanic. She's probably watching right now, I don't know. And she was like, because someone always has to die at the end whenever they're separated, and that's why I liked that La La Land was different. But I actually think that's a more valid reason for feeling upset, based off of the arguments that I've already presented to you. So it's funny because she liked it better because it wasn't like that, but I actually like it less as a result of it not being that way. It's interesting how we all think differently, so that's part of the reason why I just had to put this out to you guys. And also with Titanic, I know she complained about how they've only known each other for 4 days. It's so dumb, like being in love. But they only had 4 days. The Titanic was sinking in 4 days. That's all they had. And then you could argue, oh, well, maybe they should have known each other before then. But the whole point, the whole significance of it, was that they met on the boat when they never would have in real life. The whole point was the boat bringing them together. And I think no one's told me this, but I really think that's it. And so actually I think it was a significant reason and a significant choice. And I did some reading about it, and a lot of the upper class characters did not even want to be associated with the second class looking passenger. So a lot of them were actually pretty stuck up. So there was a lot, it's not like there was a whole bunch of middle class people like there is now. There was a huge gap in who you hang out with in classes back then during that time period. And Jack was in third class. There's no way any of that. So the fact that Rose was even talking to him, the fact that they're even talking is significant. And I think that is another reason why it is so significant that they are together, and why the boat, or the ship, needed to bring them together, because both classes would not have been co-eding had it been for the Titanic. So that's my argument for Titanic, for the love story Titanic, and this is my argument against La La Land. Well, not that it was really bad, but it just didn't do it for me. So those were the reasons I was not La for La La Land. Ooh. If you want to see more of my videos, I might be making some more soon, so you can hit that subscribe button, because you never know what you might see. Ooh. Anyway, so I'll just get out of your hair now. I think we're all clear that that's a good idea. Yeah. Thanks for watching.